So here we go, guys. Here is a video I've done on some pitching work with Kevin. Kevin's a 5 handicapper, 4.5. Used to actually be off 1 when he was younger, but kind of had a bit of a break from the game just due to fast cars and women. So we've looked at his golf game today and improved his pitching massively. So he's come back into the game and feels like his 140 yards inwards just isn't as sharp as it could be. Kevin's had lessons before, but we've worked mainly on his kind of pitching, and for an elite player like Kevin, for a golfer who wants to get back down to 1, this is the area that he needs to improve the most. And I'm sure many of you out there watching would agree with that statement, that kind of that range from 140 yards in is absolutely crucial. Now what we see on screen at the moment is this is aiming to hit the same shot, 120 yards. On the left hand side we've got before, and what we notice in the before setup is a couple of little things really. His base is quite narrow. Now Kevin's been working hard on actually trying to keep his sternum and his head nice and still, nice and central, to reduce his sway. I would say that was quite hard in the fact that his stance was so narrow, so there's no support in the bottom of his setup to actually support his upper body. Now he has actually eliminated that sway, but he's just making it very, very hard to do so. Now bearing in mind this is a pitching wedge, he's trying to hit 120 yards. I said just to control the swing. He would normally hit a full pitching wedge 130 odd. So I said control the swing and hit it to 120 yards. And what we notice in the finish position is very much, I don't know, a big and bold and powerful finish position. We've got loads of leg rotation. The club's gone round his neck, but in quite a loose fashion. And it looks like there's lots of energy that's being happening to that shot. And I compared it to almost, if you were trying to throw a javelin, you would throw it full and you would put all the power and effort that you would put into it. And a javelin to me is like a full shot, a full driver shot, a full iron shot, where you are trying to, put velocity into the golf shot to make the ball travel as far as we can. But we're looking at controlling the golf shot here, and unfortunately this didn't control it as good as we could do. So on the right hand side, instantly we see a more solid setup position. We talked about getting the inside of the feet about the same width as the shoulders. Perfect. That way we can keep the middle of our body so much more stable, which is really key. Now I'll show you what we've done in the swing, and I'll tell you how we've actually achieved that. So this went exactly 120, I think this went 125 actually, but it would have spun back 5 yards. What we'll see in the swing here now is control. And what we're seeing here in the right hand side is more like a kind of a keyhole surgeon rather than just going in there like a madman. I mean, I know some of you out in America might be watching this, but I would almost compare this more to like a dart player. So on the left hand side we've got a javelin thrower who's trying to force the golf ball a long way, and on the right hand side here we've got someone who's looking to hit a more kind of controlled, accurate golf shot. And what we see in the finish here is a couple of really fantastic traits. That we see the right knee marry up to the left knee. We see the hips control better, so they've not rotated completely out of the way. And we just notice a finish that's a little bit more sawn off, a little bit of a shorter finish position. So this brings us back to how we've actually achieved that. And I've done this before on videos talking about a clock face. So we've got the clock here in the middle of his chest. So that's perfect in the middle. Okay, we've talked about today swinging it back. Left arm goes to 10 o'clock, so he goes just past 10 o'clock, which is fine. I don't really mind that. It was just the thought process. And then right arm through to 2 o'clock. So that would be there. That's where he feels like he's controlling the golf swing to. There's a little bit of run through which gets into 1 o'clock, but that's how he controlled the finish here. The important thing, what I said to him as well though, when you go back to 10, don't attempt to slow down to 2. I kind of want it 10, boom, straight to 2. I want it to be 10, straight to 2. So with that little bit of kick and force into the back of the golf shot. That way you can control the golf shot without slowing down too much. We then talked about keeping the right foot quieter, so that the hips wouldn't rotate fully, and this is now where we get into that really solid finish position. So Kevin, that's how you're going to pitch better. And guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, learnt a little bit from how you can control your shots from 120 yards and inwards. I'm going to even get Kevin to do this with kind of 8 irons, 9 irons from 140 yards inwards. This is after, by the way, on the left hand side as well. Just lovely control of the golf swing. It's really, really nice now. Where before, you know, the finish position was just so big and vast and bold. It was almost like we were trying to hit the ball, you know, super, super far. So, if you have enjoyed it, do give the video a thumbs up. You can subscribe by clicking the links, and also check me out on Facebook and Twitter by clicking the link on the right hand side. Thanks so much for watching, and Kevin, well done today, and I look forward to seeing you again.